First of all, because Claressa didn't get her red vines in the film.
Thank you.
That is so funny. I was like, is this a gift?
Buttered popcorn red vine?
I have no idea. This feels like a very American thing. I went to the shop. I was like, do you have them? They were like, yeah, sure. Showed me to them. There was this flavor or licorice, and I thought this is probably the best.
Amazing. I'm excited.
That's funny. Thank you for
Thank
this.
you.
So, yeah.
This is gonna be an adventure.
Enjoy that sweet treat.
Thank you.
So I actually saw the film yesterday and obviously got to enjoy the Q&A afterwards. So thank you so much for your time, especially with it being late, and obviously having this day today. So I guess this is firstly for you, Ryan. You know, you mentioned that you had watched, the T-Rex documentary kind of again and again. And was there anything surprising about Claressa's story that, you didn't know beforehand?
I mean, I didn't know about her story as a whole, really, before starting. So it was all kind of new territory for me. And I was just learning as I was watching the doc and was just really inspired as a whole. I think one of my favorite parts about the documentary were all the parts with her family. Those were just like really fun and just, I don't know, I felt like I could connect to it. It felt like my family in a way. So yeah, those were some of my favorite parts. But I think as a whole, it was also new, and I was just learning as I was watching. So.
I'm learning how to box as well.
Yeah, yes, that too.
And for you, Rachel, obviously this is your kind of feature film directorial debut, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Obviously working much more in cinematography and that kind of space. How was this for you, adapting to that kind of different chair?
Yeah, it was really exciting. Like for me to both challenge myself again and like try things I hadn't tried and push myself outside my comfort zone, I guess. The pleasure of working with incredible actors like Brian and Ryan. I mean, I couldn't have gotten luckier for my first, and Barry producing. Like I was in good hands. But I think being able to see something through from beginning to end, as a cinematographer, I still invest so much of myself in a project, and then you sort of hand it off and you're like, well, I hope the score isn't too cheesy, and I hope it's not 5 hours long, and you're kind of just like, it's out of your control a little bit. And so now to have this thing that like, I really feel like I could see this movie from the page, from Barry's incredible writing, and to be able to deliver this thing that I'd had in my head was just incredibly validating.
And can we speak to, I guess, some of the decisions, in the shots taken? So, for example, you have, you mentioned yesterday that long shot during that fight scene. Mm-hmm. And then obviously you have the multiple shots of you, Ryan, kind of running through the streets, first of all, as a young child, and then obviously as an older version, you. Mm-hmm. What were those, like, why those shots?
I mean, the Flint of it all was that I really wanted Flint to be a character in the film. And so, what better way to, first of all, set up the stakes of the movie than like that opening drone shot, which is, originally I think I thought we were going to roll the opening credits on. And then I was like, this is so powerful. This is the film, right? The resilience of this young child who's running all the way to the gym, this community that you can sort of understand is the product of a American dream that's been sort of left to neglect, and like it sort of sets the stakes of the movie up perfectly. And then to be able to revisit the running, it was a chance to revisit the community and to bring Flint back in and to really just like keep it grounded in a sense of space and place and this community that's vibrant and inspiring and resilient and all the things. As far as like the fight sequences, that oneer, for instance, was a chance to, we have so many fights that I was like, how do we keep them each different from one another? And I liked the idea of doing a oneer, but oftentimes when you have a shot that's a sustained shot, you're compromising the second eye line. If there's more than one person, you're leaving one to tell the other person's story. And in this case, we don't care anything about the opponent. We don't really care anything even about Claressa yet. We just want to establish that she's amazing. So what better way than to show how dominant she's become than to do an uninterrupted cut where everybody knows there's no stunt performer because it's on Ryan the whole time and she's landing every punch, and you just sort of, you set up like she is undeniable, and then you can start the movie.
And I guess, Ryan, speaking to those stunts, obviously that you were kind of going in knowing that you had to do them. Were you apprehensive? Were you excited?
I think I was More excited than anything, I think, because at that point I had already trained, I guess, and understood the fundamentals of like the boxing, like the foundation was there. So I felt confident enough into knowing that I could make it look good. So it made me more excited to actually, you know, get into the ring and get in front of the camera and do it. I think it was really fun for me, actually. So, yeah, it was cool.
And another one for you, Ryan. If you were to take anything away from the 2012 Olympic Village, what would you have taken?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe knowing me some food. I don't...
Dessert.
Dessert, literally.
She would have taken that.
Dessert. I don't know. I mean, I really love their like uniforms and stuff. That I love taking clothes from things. Like I took a lot of clothes even from this set that I could, with permission. I didn't steal. But yeah, probably like some of the jackets or some of the things that they had to wear.
There's such like a distinct style around the costuming as well. Like it feels very, like it feels like that time. And I mean, obviously I'm slightly younger than you, Ryan, but it feels like that's what people are dressing like. We even like, obviously we get that shot constantly of like Clarissa's like the white belt. In the back, and, like, being sort of, like,
It's so funny. Everybody notices that belt. Yes, yeah, no, all of those things it's very important. And I grew up during that time. I was in high school during that time, so it was cool because I obviously had just like a personal, you know, connection with that because I really was wearing a lot of those things. But it was cool just to, I guess, be in the costume department and them taking, I guess, some whatever answers that I could have for them.
You're letting you consult.
Yeah, they would be like really open to everything, and yeah, us changing it up and it just trying to be as authentic to that time as possible. It was fun.
And one final question, for both of you, what one word would you give to this film?
Inspiring.
Yeah, it's hard to
Give it
not
a single.
say that word.
It's pretty
Inspiring. Inspiring, I think, is it. Yeah, for
Amazing.
sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So nice to meet you, and thank you for our candy.
Thank you.
Your hair is a dream, stuff of dreams.
Thank you. Thank you